In my candle meditation this morning, I started out in a beautiful place of having much gratitude. My heart was already in the space of Toda Rabba. So it was much easier for me to sit and gaze upon my solitary candle. But I was really overcome by something. My practice is to empty out all of my thoughts, just so that I can be in the place of awareness without my mind coming in with obtrusive thoughts. But I felt like I had a spirit interrupt, not my mind, but something that was being communicated to me that I wanted to share with you. Many times when we converse with one another, especially online, and as I speak, I point the fingers back at myself here, we will say, love you, or love you much, or much love when we sign off with somebody, where we use the word love. As we write it, however, it speaks of a hesitancy. And a hesitancy is really related to lack of trust. There's something very powerful when we use the word I. And there's many levels to the I. But somehow, we do not connect I to love you. We have been hurt so much that when we open ourselves fully to encompass the I, it's inclusive of our heart. So without the I, we are approaching this from the place of the mind, the ego, and not the heart. So as with everything, I'm sharing this with you, but really I'm speaking out loud so I can hear it. In Aramaic, the word I is Aleph, Nun, Aleph. And when we look at that, we have bookends of the letter Aleph. And the letter Aleph, in one of its meanings, has to do with unification and being unified. There's much more to the Aleph, but it is constructed of two yods and a vav, an upper yod and a lower yod that are connected in the middle by the vav, which does mean to connect. A higher self, a lower self, a vision, power, means, and direction that are meant to connect and no longer be separated. What happens is when we have hurts, especially at the heart level, because really the heart is where all the emotional stems from, our emotional intelligence, that what we should have experienced through feeling. So when we feel separated, which is really what hurt does, it's a level of separation. We want to protect ourselves from that. So we actually blow up the Aleph into pieces. And I got that very strong this morning. We disconnect. We disconnect our higher self and our lower self from the Vav that is meant to connect. And so here we stand in our place as we have two yods, which is really an open hand that is reaching. We have an upper hand reaching to connect and a lower hand that is reaching connect. One that has higher revelation and one that has been based in pain and suffering, that is wanting to come back home to the place of the heart. And we've totally blown apart the Aleph. But these two strong visions are wanting to connect. So if we do not take in consideration of the I, then how can we bring both of these visions, the things that we have blown apart due to our pain and suffering, which then extends out to distrust? How do we bring that back into the place of the connection of the heart? The only way we can do that is by healing those wounds, doing the shadow work, looking at the things that trigger us and ask ourselves why. Catch the words that we speak. Go within, have the Spirit assist so that the heart can be opened again. So that upper yod and the lower yod, these two visions, these two aspects of self can be brought back home, the place of the heart. As I was editing this video, I was pulling up the word Ana so that I could simply copy and paste it and use it so that you could see the word Ana. But what I discovered pierced my heart in such a beautiful way. This was a new revelation for me, and I knew that I needed to add it into this video so that you could see it for yourself. I was speaking of the word Ana in Aramaic, which is the divine feminine portion of the sacred writings. And here we see it in the Hebrew aspect of the divine masculine. The clock is chiming 9 right now. And of course, the synchronicity is purposed, as 9 is the number of completion. So when we look at this Hebrew word, Ana, look what it's saying. Now, we beseech you. But there's more here. And keep in mind, divine completion. It's contracted from ahava. Ahava, love. In oneness, it is revealed that in the inside, we truly are one. Ahava. So now, when we take a look at the word Ana, we can see that it is a contracted form of ahava and na, which is the word where we are asking, praying now, beseeching. We beseech thee. Reveal love that is on the inside, that we are one. The Vav is meant to connect. That is the heart. The Vav is in the center of the two yods, so anything that is in the center of any Hebrew word is the place of your heart. So the Aleph in its pieces, the Vav is waiting. The Vav is waiting. The heart is waiting to connect. So as I speak to myself here, I then begin to question, why is it that there are times that I leave I off of love you? And honestly, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. When I do not say, I love you, there is something that is within my field that I do not love within myself, that keeps me from uttering those words, because the communication is meant for me to hear. And yes, we do communicate with one another, But truly it's meant for me to hear my own words in that which is coming out of my mouth, so that I can truly be released from that which has hindered me. How interesting that that would be exactly 6 a.m., as 6 is the number for Vav. So even with synchronicities, this is speaking back to me today, saying, connect to your heart, learn, become unconditional love for myself. It is in the process of unconditionally loving myself that then I can turn and say fully and unabandonedly, say, I love you. Shalom, shalom. Namaste. Toda Rabah.